can't give me the right to be a human being. I'm fine with that right. Now, you can keep me from having that if you've got all the policemen and all the jobs on your side.
Hello, my friends and fellow human beings, and thanks for joining me for this video. The last couple weeks have brought some sunshine along with warmer temps, and the snow has finally started to disappear from the south-facing slopes. We have still had some snow off and on, but typical for this region, it melts away within a day or so. Part of the reason I haven't posted an update sooner is after one of the above-mentioned snowstorms, I put my car in the ditch on the way home one night. The video you're seeing now was taken the day after I got my car out. And just to get it out of the way, yes, I was driving too fast for the conditions. It took me a couple days to get it out because I chose not to call a tow truck and instead buy a winch with the money I would have used for a tow. The first day was a major fail, and I realized I'd need a jack and some ramps to get the front wheels over the bank of a small drainage that is now full of water. I spent a day digging it out and rounding up a jack and the ramps I needed. The next day, it took just around an hour with the proper equipment and much less snow. I should have recorded our efforts, but I'll admit I was a little embarrassed, so I didn't. But it is part of my experience out here, living in the woods and off the grid, especially when I cruise around these snowy back roads in a glorified golf cart. Alright, now on to some more meaningful updates about what is going on with my setup out here. As I mentioned in my last update, I'm working on a structure just behind my RV to put a wood-burning stove in, as well as a bigger bathroom setup than inside the RV to accommodate my son and his needs. The first installment of that is coming along well, and the footage you're seeing now is me working on the roof. It's not a typical structure by any means. It needs to be fairly mobile, so I'm designing and implementing it with that in mind. I'm also, as I mentioned before, using lumber that doesn't come to me through a traditional lumber yard. I didn't just move off the electrical grid. I'm also trying to exit the entire matrix. And like I said in the last episode, the only thing I've purchased other than screws at the regular lumber yard for this project so far is 4 10-foot 2x6s. I got my 4x4s through a guy in Spokane who's a forklift operator and sells the good quality wood he can get from his job at a fraction of the price, especially if you buy it in bulk like I did. The rest of the lumber I'm using for the roof, the framing of the walls, and the sheeting that I'll use on the roof and walls are from pallets where my only cost was the fuel and wear and tear on my truck. I feel like doing things outside the centralized economy is important in this new off-the-grid life I'm building. More and more we hear about a CBDC being implemented. With the current instability in the banking industry, it looks like there will be even more consolidation, which will only make it easier to usher in a central bank digital currency. For someone like me, that means the official end of my economic freedom. Control of what and how we buy things at that level will make it very hard to participate in the mainstream for those who choose liberty over compliance. The COVIDs gave us a glimpse of that and is the driving force behind things like the Spokane Freedom Exchange. It's important for me to try to find new sources for the things I need. It's not just about avoiding a CBDC. It's also about not supporting the centralized system of control that currently dominates our society. I feel we need to put more effort into supporting living free rather than the comfort and stability of slavery to the system. In my first off-grid video, I went over my solar setup, and since I've made a few updates, which I'll go over with you now. I wanted to make sure I got this included in it. I don't have much battery power on this camera, so I'm going to try to be quick. This is my second set of 100 watt 12 volt solar panels. They are from a different company, so I'll get into that later. I saved a little bit of money, but they're pretty much the same panel. As far as the efficiency, all that, like I said, I'll get into the specs and what that means a little bit later in the video. I just want to show you, I got it set up right now. I'm going to try to keep my camera focused here. Okay, so I got them wired in here, but I do not have them wired in to this initial set yet. they're right here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to see how many amps we're getting right now. We're going to record it. That's just off of these two panels. We're going to document that, and then we'll plug these new ones in and we'll go check out and see what the increase was. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this okay with the low light in here. Looks like you can. So right now the system is running at 12.9 volts, which is good. That means we're full voltage. We got a 12 volt system. Right now, so the solar panels, we're getting between the two that are hooked up right now, that's 19.1, 0.2 volts right there. So depending on when you look at it, 19.1, okay? And then we're getting 14.45 amps. So remember, this charge controller is a 40 amp charge controller. So if hooking up these new ones doubles that, that'll take us just over 30, which that's pretty good for these two. That means we're in full sun, charging well. And we're at 90% on our batteries. That's not as important right now. All right, so let's leave it right here. We're at 15.8 amps. So I'm gonna go plug in the new panels, and then we're gonna come back and check out where we're at then. Okay, so here we are back here. So it says we are at 12.8 volts. We're getting 18.3 volts, 10.2 amps. We're only at 85%. All right. Well, something doesn't appear to be right here. So I better go make sure I hooked that up correctly. We seem to have lost, not gained. Okay, so it just took a few minutes, I guess, for it to register, because literally as soon as I had turned off the camera, saying I needed to go check on something, my amps went up. Obviously, now, as I'm speaking, the sun went behind some clouds, but as you saw when that first came on, it was close to 28. We were close to 30 when I first was here, so the sun must be coming out. You can see the amps are going up right now. So hooking up those additional 200 watt 12 volt panels basically almost doubled my, well, basically it did double my capacity here. So that's good. That means I'll be able to charge my batteries much faster, meaning I'll have to rely on the generator a lot less. I don't like relying on the generator. I like to be able to just charge these batteries. Now that I have things starting to figure out how the system works, I'm able to, with these 4 batteries, run everything I need throughout the night and wake up in the morning and still have plenty of battery power left. So that's nice. In my next off-grid update, I'm going to bring you up to speed on what some of my daily activities are around here and the animals where I'm at. So check back soon, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, do it now, and make sure to click the bell so you're notified of new updates. Thanks for joining me for this video. If you like my content, share it. It's the best way to support the efforts of this channel and only takes a couple of clicks. Most importantly, stop using big tech platforms and decentralize. Share this from a decentralized and blockchain-based platform to help spread the word about them.